Views expressed, adding up things and stuff. Pop your bins, just pop your bins.
Well, this is going to be terrible.
Hello and welcome to the second ever live stream that I've ever done on my channel. But this one is not the usual Sunday service, let us pray. Is it, in fact, F your bins. I can't say the F word just yet, but there will be F words coming. And today I am joined by a Thompsin, influencer.
Yes, yeah.
The P taker's P taker of politics.
That's what they say. That's what you say.
The sound playing on I've just ruined myself now. Purveyor of your dad's balls and perver of your dad's balls.
Yes.
Secretly, low-key, a hell of a dancer, which some of you might not be aware of. And he's also exceedingly bitter.
Yes.
And Graham Hughes, prolific political streamer, Scouse ranter, island owner but not a nonce, traveller, and now sadly in receipt of a reform counsellor.
A council, not just counsellor. My fucking entire council has gone reform.
Basically, the flow of this is if you want people to sit here swilling Rioja talking about Engels, you're in the wrong place. It's more of an anarchic take on of UK politics, and it's accessible, which in our language means sweary.
Yeah.
Speaking. So today we're going to be talking all things local election.
Yes.
Let's face it, not much has happened since. We're going to be roasting the living out of Reform and probably Labour, to be fair, let's face it. And mercilessly mocking Darren Grimes if aid has got anything to do with it, because he's the guy that's holding the fort in terms of taking the absolute out of Wootton, Grimes, et al. He has been sitting through the shocking live streams that Darren Grimes puts out on his channel. He's just sitting there with like a bic, talking kindly like a kind of like carer, you know, to his audience. It's very weird.
We're getting some love in the chat already. We've got £2 super chat from Andy Thompson. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you, sir. And he says, glad to see you got the Human League to do your intro.
I was laughing before we started this because Aid knocked that up in about 5 minutes probably. And it's so shite that it's good. And I was
so
like,
shite, it's beautiful.
I just signed it off immediately. I was like, yeah, that will do. That will do, Aid. So obviously Darren Grimes himself is a veritable gold mine. So let's get first up. Aid, thoughts, expletives, etc. about the local election shit show.
Yeah, look, I don't want to spend this whole guest slot on your live stream patting myself on the back, mostly because that would be really uncouth and disgusting, but also because I think like a bunch of us kind of saw that result coming from a mile off. Like I remember it was about 16 hours, 24 hours, something like that before people started going to the ballots. I was like, Labour are about to get such a kicking.
Yeah.
And it's because they're moving further to the right and alienating their centre and centre-left voters, and they won't learn the lesson from it at all. They will interpret it as, well, this is a sign that we haven't gone far enough. And now it's like we're a matter of hours after the results, and they're like, oh, we're going to go further and faster. I'm like, oh,
further, faster towards the iceberg that's clearly ahead of you. Instead of just deviating a little bit. Yeah, a little bit to the left. Take it to the left, dickheads. They go, no. Full steam ahead.
I drew a metaphor, like I drew a parallel this morning with it on Blue Sky, where I was like, it's like I'm in a casino and I'm gambling with my rent money or mortgage money, and I've got my sobbing family over there going like, don't do it, Dad. And I'm like, I know I've lost it all, but just bear with me. I can regain your trust. I'm just going to go further and faster. And I've start pulling out the keys to my car, gambling with our life and our future and everything. Like that's what it's like, right?
The house always wins, and the house is unfortunately the far right, because they've just got billions and millions to pour into this nonsense.
Yeah, but Labour aren't even bothering to try. Like, look, this is driving me fucking nuts, right? You got YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. None of those things were really around in the 2005 election when Labour won. None of them. And it's been 20 years of YouTube we've had, and they're still not using it. They're still not using it. How?
Yeah.
What? How are they this stupid? How are they so bad at this? Like, it's like trying to get your nan to send a fucking email attachment. It's like, holy shit! How can you not do this? How can you not know?
I'm trying to get me to use a proper camera. It's it's unbelievable. Honestly, it is dawdling madness. And the problem is, you've got reform, you've got the right broadly pouring money into paying for views on TikTok, and Facebook. They've got like bot farms, just like radical loads of people with offshore weird accounts that pretend to be British, just like spreading the most dark, divisive stuff you could ever imagine. And then you've got Labour, like in Carter 95, like floppy disking it, like they've just not got a clue. And it's like,
AOL.
Has anyone ever told them text happened? Like,
no, they don't know. They keep going on about fucking posting things out to people, and I'm like, we spent all this money on posting things out to people. Like, put stuff on YouTube. It's fucking free. It's free.
Do you guys remember about 3 or 4 months ago when that story about Elon Musk funding reform came about, and everyone was like we were all like, this is actually really dangerous now, because obviously he's a billionaire, he could just funnel all of this money into the system, and no end of leaflets, no end of adverts. Like, what would that do to our democracy? And I remember the response from Labour, like everyone was like, so are you going to legislate against it? Are you going to do anything? Like, you're in power, you could literally take care of this like tomorrow if you wanted to, like whip up a bill that restricts the amount that you can take in from a foreign investor, kind of thing. And their response to it was like, they go, we'll beat reform at the debate table in a battle of ideas. I was like, we've been trying that. We've been trying that for like a decade now. It's not going to work. You're playing politics on 2005 mode. Exactly. What are you doing?
But it didn't even work in 2005. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, people don't notice stuff until you point it out to them. There's a whole metaphor, isn't there, about a boiling frog, right? It works both ways. Sometimes you need to tell the frog that the water's getting hot. But the frog doesn't fucking realise. And he'd be like, sometimes you might have to tell the frog that he's having a nice time. So he realises he's having a nice time. And this is something that Labour are shit at doing. They're shit at telling people, yeah, we did this and it's quite good.
Or they could, just, I don't know, implement press reform. They're like, they have no reason to complain about the fact that the good stuff that they're doing, and they are doing some good stuff, is not getting anywhere because they're too busy rouging up their cheeks, putting on their little bra and going, oh, please notice me, Daily Mail. And it's just, it's not going to work. And also, it's like, it reminds me of the episode of The Office. It's like, oh, the Swindon lot don't seem to respect you. That's exactly what is playing out in our politics with Labour.
Starmer in a little bra.
They're not going to like go, oh, Labour are doing what Reform are doing. I think I'm just going to toddle over to Labour now. They'll just go to a Telegram chat and go, oh, I heard Keir Starmer fucked a donkey. And then they'll be like, it's just going to be like more really, because obviously the right are terrible at comedy. It's just going to be terrible, really cringy hashtags and nicknames for Keir Starmer, when, the thing that you should rip the piss out of is the fact that he's unconvincing as a human. Like,
yeah. Well, I read something on a tweet or a thread or something yesterday where they said, like, we're so far into the down the rabbit hole now that even if Labour did beat reform in terms of how hard they're going on immigration, even if they actually brought net migration down to the tens of thousands, if you like, we're in a position now where the general public simply would not believe it. They would call it fake news. They would say that Nigel Farage would be better at it, that they would get it down to 5,000. Like, people just don't believe Labour when it comes to the migration stuff, the immigration stuff. So it's a bit like, well, what game are you trying to win here? You're never going to beat them at that narrative, at that rhetoric. So why continue to tiptoe over to the right to try to placate the sensibilities of the Daily Mail, of the Daily Express, when actually your bread and butter, like day-to-day voters like me, you, Tan, whoever, Graham, don't know why I'm saying me, you, and Tan. Should be referring to Tan's stream. Like you're alienating them. And what we're seeing now off the back of the local elections is like a lot of people fucking abandoned Labour and went over to the Lib Dems and over to the Greens. So it's like, why are they not clutching their pearls, worrying about that exodus of people? Why is it the default already in the reaction that I've read they're already saying, oh, well, this means like the Morgan McSweeney thing, that
Oh
briefing
my
that went out,
God.
whether we're going to go even harder on immigration. It's like, you guys just don't fucking learn.
Harder on immigration. That's like that. No, that's the exact thing that you shouldn't be doing. You tits.
And there's a polling list of things that people are concerned about when it comes to Labour voters and non-Labour voters, and immigration wasn't even on the list. It's not even polling that high amongst most normal people. They just want the NHS to work. They just want to be able to get a dentist. They just want to be able to, work 40 hours a week, pay their bills, and have a good life. That's all they want. And they have the majority to change the narrative. And they are failing abysmally.
I did come up with a solution, actually, that would keep the reform lot happy from an immigration perspective. And it would also keep me happy from an immigration perspective. And that was that if the concern in reform quarters, if the concern is that Britain is full, that we can't take any more, that public services is buckling, we can't be too welcoming to asylum, etc., keep the net migration down. Why not just pay people like me to leave?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
be up for that.
Here. Leave on.
Give me some money.
If it's not racist, if it's not about xenophobia or like how brown the intake is,
Before we go on, I've got some super chats to just acknowledge. First of all, One Angry Pagan, who has joined your channel, now a member. So welcome, new members. Or member. And then we've also got Alistair Kerm has dropped £10 in. Funds for a sweary live stream, which is always good. Richard Marsden, £5 super chat. Thank you. I hope there's got some gas tanks and some strong Windoline as crafty as Boons to go off. 8 points. Yo to the booge.
Yo to the booge.
Yo to the booge.
Hey, Team Booge in the house.
We've got One Angry Pagan with Friggs, Love and Blessing, and an F the Tories and refuck. Andy Thompson. I'm just thinking, like, if I ever got interviewed to be like on TV or something, I'd find it really, really hard not to refer to them as refuck. Because that's just what I call them.
It's just like a natural.
That's what they are. Yeah. Andy Thompson, £5 super chat. Thank you. We all know what Starmer talks about when he talks about using AI. He means Clippy for Windows 97. Graham Haller, £5 super chat.
It's words than that, Graham. It's Word 97. I don't even think he's that far down the line. I think he's intranet, unfortunately. Graham Haller, £5 to avoid using the C word. Say copper nanotube. The quotation for nanotube is NT, and I think you can guess the quotation for copper. Good science chat, man. Good science chat. Thank you very much. And we've also got George. He's just repping the double name there. Why aren't Labour doing any press reform? Let's discuss that in a second. But first, Yuri says Labour comms runs on Windows Vista. Yeah, I think it's a bit further back than that, unfortunately. But why aren't Labour doing any press reform? This has been puzzling me, actually. What do you think?
There seems to be some easy goals that Labour could just do. Like right now, they've got a majority of 200. Just fucking do it. What are they waiting for?
Possibly the fact that, like, obviously, like years ago, it was bizarre to refer to it as legacy media, wasn't it? Everyone was like, "What? Why are you calling it legacy media?" They realise now that it's all about social media, and even like broadcasters and papers are bending to sensationalism and making clickable content. And that really works in the favour of the right, obviously, because they're all quite far down the conspiracy pipeline, aren't they? So they're just like, we'll believe anything, which is a real bonus for people like Reform, as is their kind of like Christianity as a social identity, because it's like, do things hide crimes better than conspiracy and the church. So, we're in a situation where it's just it's exceedingly difficult to go up against it. But I still think we're in a position where the big media owners are kind of choosing our politicians. I think that's the thing, isn't it?
Before you go on, we've got a super chat from Marvin asking if you can take me out for dinner. Of course you can, Marvin. Thank you very much for that super chat. It's very, very kind of you.
And, great. I think you're in Politics Social, Martin. He might be talking to me.
No. Definitely to the boys. It might be to Aids, maybe. Aids, would you like to go out for dinner with Marvin?
Sure.
Yeah. Marvin, it's your choice. So. You can either go out with Aid or me. Brilliant. Also, Dan Howarth, welcome to F the Tories.
Yeah, man.
I
Well,
know.
I was just going to say, like,
to clarify here though, because we need to know for our own collective egos who he's chosen, and I'm putting bets on me because I've got knockers. So
speak for yourself.
life hack. If you want a free dinner, get knockers.
Anyway,
yeah, just going back to the
pearls of
to
wisdom.
The press reg.
Go on.
The press reg stuff. So I find myself in a sort of slightly awkward position.
Of course you do.
Where
with your dad.
I want where I want them to regulate the press, and not just the press anymore. Like, I've actually expanded or frenzied or frog boiled myself into wanting them to regulate all of social media also.
Is frog boiling a new sex thing?
It can be.
Ugh, you dirty bastard. You into that, are you?
But I feel like
frog boiling tonight. Dirty bastard.
I feel I'm going to drag this conversation back onto a serious
screaming. Go.
I feel like we should lobby. We should try our best to try to get press regulation in place, because it is the only way that, firstly, we will restore anything resembling sanity to British politics. And it all goes back to, or it all starts from press rec. Once you start manipulating or contorting the comms piece, it doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter if you put VAT on private schools, bring in breakfast clubs, it will always be manipulated and then funneled out to the masses, which is kind of why, like, they have done some good stuff in the first few months of this parliament, but nobody gives a shit. Everyone is just like, oh, well, reform are up on the up. It's a success story over here. There's momentum to it. So everyone's looking over there. Nobody gives a shit about
pensioners freezing to death, and then the farmers, taking themselves out because of the tax that they might have to pay if they die. Surely, if you've got tax to pay when you die, you'd just want to not die.
I'm never done.
I don't really understand that one. I'm going to stick it to the government by doing the thing they want me to do.
There's a double standard here, though, because people are like, obviously, Labour should not be implementing these policies, hands down. Or if they do, they should make the threshold higher. But under the Tories, we literally had Johnson interviewed about Elsie riding on a bus to keep warm and warm banks. And it's like, as soon as Labour implements like a bit of reform, which obviously it wasn't, not that reform. It's like, talked about for months. You've got people, if they've tried to put VAT on private schools, you've got people in their private members clubs sitting on like, they call those fancy leather sofas. What are they called with the little things on them? You know what I'm talking about? Proper plush sofas, not like yours, Graham.
Chesterfields.
Going,
not like yours, Graham Hart. Thanks. It's not mine. It's Kat's. That's...
Oh, sorry, Kat.
I'm just camping in a spare room. That's my life now.
I thought that was an AI background. I thought you.
I did at first, actually. Like, I thought, wow, but it's got your little Lego fella.
Well, normally he's got like the warehouse thing behind him, hasn't he? So I thought.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Keep up at the back. He hasn't watched my videos for months. He hasn't.
I haven't been on Labour Social for a time.
No, it's not even called Labour Social anymore. It's called Politics Social.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I just realised that I've still got the Politics Social thing up in the corner of the channel. I'm going to get rid of that.
Thompson's got his real name on here tonight as well. I love the fact that as a tech guy, he thought he could hide his digital imprint by changing one letter out of his surname, as if they'd never see and never know.
He's a master of disguise.
How would they know? It's like Superman and the glasses, isn't it? It's like,
I'm a secret agent. My name's Bond, James Bond.
It's not a very exciting story, but it's like when I was doing stand-up, I didn't want the people that I was working with to be able to find the stand-up, so I would always be like build slightly different. So Google would then correct it and say, "Did you mean this?"
Yeah. So Aidan Thompson plays like American football or something. I was trying to find a picture of you for the thumbnail.
Probably.
Yeah. I said Aidan Thompson. Yeah, it's like an American football player or basketball player.
Aidan Thompson.
Or
I don't know.
Baseball wanker.
Have we got another super chat, or am I just thinking? Oh no, we haven't. But Marvin, I think, has confirmed it's me. So go.
There you go.
You lucky chicken, you.
Cook your own dinner for once.
Fucking hell. Rejected again, Aid. What's it like?
But Darren Grimes, right? Jumping the shark or what?
Crafty wank. Can we just call him Crafty wank? Do we have to call him Darren Brown? Darren Crimes.
Brown.
Darren Crimes. What's his name?
Oh my God.
Darren.
If Crafty Wank could do magic, like that would be terrifying. He does look like a mortician.
He does. No, he looks like a magician's like a ventriloquist dummy.
No, he looks like a corpse that's prepped for a funeral.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? He looks like he's chock full of formaldehyde. God, he's a twat. I hate him. He's just such a little fucking knobhead.
No, he's lovely.
You know, because he's a grasper. You know, I don't mind. I do mind, but you know, the private school mafia lot, like they're always going to be wankers. But he aspires to be a wanker. He grew up in a working class area, you know, single mom, and the only reason he hangs out with these knobheads is just greed. It's just pure
money,
greed.
right? I was thinking
money. They pay him well.
People call us lot grifters. It's like, mate, if we wanted to be grifters, we would be on the right. Like the amount of money those bastards are making for just spreading hatred. And that's the thing with Grimes. I mean, he's selling out his own. Even Tom Harwood, right? GB News. Even he sticks up for trans people, which is surprising to me. I know it's a low bar, you know, just being a decent human being. And
why can't you just be a decent human being? But little fucking Crafty Wank. We call him Crafty Wank because that was his nickname in school. Because apparently he got caught like having a wank under his desk.
There was a rumor that he was.
That was a rumor, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Anyway, that's why we call him that. So you know, whatever. But yeah, he says he's going to get rid of the trans crossing. There's a crossing that's trans. He says painted for the trans colours.
Yeah.
In Bloomsbury, in London. He's a councillor for fucking Durham, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this crossing, this woke pelican crossing.
This is the thing, man. It's like whenever they come out with these like trans bashing, or in Neanderthal's case, like actually quite racist things.
Yeah.
Like
he's xenophobic and racist. Yeah, he's xenophobic.
Yeah. Whenever they come out with that stuff, like it used to yield a sort of knee-jerk reaction in me where I'd be like, that's disgusting or that's racist or whatever. And now I actually interpret it whenever I see it, and it is basically every day from somebody representing reform. Now I just see it for what it is, which is literally like a billboard, like an advert for saying there's some really serious problems in this country, climate change, what we're going to do when the fossil fuels run out. There's no way that we could scale up the renewables in the way that we need them to facilitate energy. We might have a global financial crash again. What if there's another pandemic? Like, there's some serious problems that we need to address. And we, Reform, when we talk about the trans crossing or this thing, what we're advertising, we have no ideas, no solutions whatsoever with that. It's so blatant. It's like distraction. It's culture war. It's just nonsense.
It's rhetoric. This is the thing.
Yeah.
This is the problem now. Like I said in my video yesterday, they don't care. They don't care about facts anymore. Like the problem. No. Every time you try to they come out with these mad things that they've seen from memes, and then you go, all right, can you provide some evidence for that? It's like, if you want to make a reform voter disappear, you could take them to a quarry. No, you could literally just ask them to prove it, and they've got nothing, and they know they've got nothing. They know it's pure rhetoric. They know it's just punching down to make themselves.
Absolutely is. We've got a super chat come in from Yuri. Do you want to read it? It's really funny. Can you see that?
Right, Yuri, mate, come on with that. With that surname, you've thrown me a bit of a curveball.
The infection of.
I'm not going reform by saying that. Oh, that's a bit of a tricky name. Grimes looks like if a toy. I think he'd be a Tory boy.
No, a toy boy.
Oh, a toy boy turned into a real boy, and that boy became and you're like a cross between Pee Wee Herman and dummy. Very, very odd looking man. We've got Jenny Robinson. Hello. I've been a bit teary since escort betrayal, but Supreme Court betrayal, but you, the one with the knocker, have been a fucking inspiration to me. Your guests have been quite awesome too. Oh, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny. That's really kind of you.
That's really nice, man. And thank you for mentioning my knockers. Any opportunity to get them.
And there's still time for us to disappoint you. So
yeah, exactly. Richard Marsden, wait till Crafty finds out about the transatlantic flight. Go on, yeah, absolutely.
Can I read something that Richard Tice tweeted yesterday?
No, yeah, of course.
Reform control the mayoralty and county council in Lincolnshire with myself as local MP. If you're thinking of investing in solar farms, battery storage systems, or trying to build pylons, think again. We will fight you every step of the way.
Oh, well.
Yeah, because they're
If you're
funded by
thinking
fossil
of
fuel.
investing, invest. If you're thinking of giving us money, you can fuck off. What the?
Like they're
What?
I know aid is rarely spot on, but they do. They're lobbied and they're funded by fossil fuel people. I mean, look at Rees-Mogg and Crispin O'Dea and the Lord Frackenshire, reverse Jarvis Cocker, taking loads of money from Crispin, who was profiting from the war in Ukraine, and taking the backhanders. And there was also that thing where Tice threatened to sue I think it was the Mirror and the Scott National, was it? For talking about the rumours that one of his subsidiary companies actually took over one of the was it gas or steel works, raised the rents and then made it close. He's denying that, but on their own website there were links to the fact that they had acquired it. Again, not been proven, but I tried to ask him questions on Twitter and he just didn't answer me.
I mean, in terms of their relationship with the fossil fuel industry, it's like it's self-evident. You can go out, you can see it, you can dig up the interviews where people have asked him, Richard Tice specifically, like, what's your relationship with the fossil fuel industry, with fracking? And you can see it, like when he goes on LBC and they ask him about renewables, they ask him about solar and wind, and he says, no, fossil fuels, natural gas, oil is a core component of our economy, and it always will be. And we should make use of our own oil in the North Sea. And he comes out with the same stuff that Rishi Sunak used to come out with, like making it sound like we have our oil, our great British oil in the North Sea, just waiting to be extracted, that we would then benefit from that, which we obviously would not. And just for the benefit of any listeners or viewers who are not sort of as au fait with this as I'm sure that us three are, when you pull that oil out of the North Sea, it is extracted and processed by like Shell, BP, Exxon. They sell it on the global markets to the highest bidder. We don't get cheaper oil as a result of that. The only thing that happens when you do that is a load of rich people get even fucking richer. So there's that. Then there's fracking, where they always wheel out fracking. They go like, oh, we should do what America did, because America had a big success story with fracturing and extracting gas, right? America's a massive country and it stood to benefit from fracking. The UK, they've done surveys, they've done geological work studies that say you would never be able to extract the same amount of gas in this little island. And even the amount that you could do, it would only ever reach a peak of, and I'm going from memory here, it's like 10 or 11% of our energy mix, our portfolio, and then it would just run out again. So again, it's like the North Sea oil. It's like you won't ever solve the problem that you're trying to solve. Actually, what you will do is make a few billionaires even richer. And then by that point, you would have cancelled like the renewable contracts. Another country might have used all of that plastic, all of that iron, all of the uranium for the nuclear plants that we could have sourced. So yeah, I don't know, like their approach to renewables and their deals that they do with fossil fuel conglomerates, absolutely fucking disgusting. Fuck them all to Jupiter, Tan.
I agree with you. What do you think? I think are you concurring here, Mr. Graham Hughes?
Yeah, no, they're all clearly in the pot. It's like that tweet that he put out. It's like, tell me you're working for the fucking oil companies without saying that you're working for the fucking oil companies. But like, it's so fucking wrong-headed. Like, we can make shitloads of money. I don't think people understand just how much energy there is free swirling around the UK, right? They go, oh, but it rains all the time. Yeah, solar panels are more efficient when it's not dead hot. So, there's that. Plus, we have like a huge amount of the wind that is available in the whole of our continent. We have a huge chunk of that. Even more so, tidal power. We have potentially 90% of the tidal power of the entire continent of Europe swirling around our coast. And it's like, why are we not capitalizing this? And what we need to get through to the meatheads, to, you know, the people that we know in our lives that unfortunately have fallen down the reform, the Brexit rabbit hole, you got to say to them, like, do you want energy sovereignty? Do you want to run our own shit? You know, do you want us to go begging bowl to Saudi Arabia and say, please, Mr. Saudi Arabia, can I have some oil, please? Or go to Qatar and say, oh, we're running a bit low on gas and we need to cook our burgers, so could you give us some more gas? No, right? We can make all our energy ourselves. So when they're going, sovereignty, say energy sovereignty. That's what we want to say. Don't you want to be energy self-sufficient? We can actually make enough power for ourselves and sell it to other motherfuckers. But instead, no, we've got to make everything the cost of fucking gas. Gas that we buy from Qatar doesn't do us any fucking good at all.
It's amazing how they're like calling themselves a you know, they're not the elite. It's like, mate, you are just like Tories would just add even more racism. And then there's the whole way that like they've been just copying each other since 2016, like Tories adopting reform rhetoric. And what we actually saw under Johnson, the last bit of the Tories, was essentially just peak Farage. Since 2016, the Tories have just been Farage because they've been trying to out Farage.
And then Labour are trying to do it.
And this is the thing, like, Farage has been controlling the narrative in this country since just before 2016. And not enough is made of the fact that when he was in Europe doing fuck all, he was actually making links with loads of proper fascists, like really shockingly right-wing people. Like Messerschmitt, who's a real problem, like we talked about last week. I mean, yeah, and there's an enormous amount of money to be made out of this for Farage, and it's just continuation. And when people think he's an alternative, it's like he is funded by billionaire hedge funders.
Isn't it? For like, you could, it's the clearest example of how fucking shady he is, in the sense that if you're a shady billionaire, if you are a foreign dictator, if you are I don't want to say a Russian billionaire, like an oligarch, I don't know if that was ever proven, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but if you are somebody,
you mean Novichok?
Yeah, maybe
you want to get 60 wanked off a door handle or found in a Ziploc bag or something.
Yeah, if I'm found naked in my bathroom with my hand around my penis, having died from some sort of asphyxiation thing, I'm just going to tell you now, could be legitimate. Could be.
Well, I was thinking it's what I would have wanted.
At least he died going the way they wanted. Yeah.
He died going, and to be honest with you, I think you could pull off stockings. Not being funny, but I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon you've got the legs for it. Anyway, sorry.
Thanks. But yes, no, I was going to say, isn't it funny? Like, so if you, doesn't matter how shady or how sour your reputation, they will welcome that money in. But if you dare to throw some money at solar panels, it's like, how dare you invest? If you dare to try invest in solar and that's not on.
It's incredible. It's like, it's the evilest thing in the world. It's like, you're mad. Are you mad? That's insane. But no, there's a lot of people, like there's a few people in the chat talking about, bringing back Corbyn. It's like, mate, whilst I understand that, he was revered by a lot of people, the way of our politics is unfortunately that like parties tend to win from the centre. And I don't think anyone, I mean, with the Labour Party we've got now, they're doing a lot of off-label shit. Like a lot of the stuff they brought in wasn't even in their manifesto. And I understand why people feel cheated. But I don't think we've got a shot, because as we can see, they don't have the funding for a start, and they don't have the ability to keep up with the slurs and the smears that they're going to face for trying to do it. I mean, like old matey in America, I've forgotten his name now, nice guy, old, was pictured looking like that at a rally or something, all like with his gloves. Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, Bernie.
I'm surprised you didn't get that. I thought that impersonation of him with his little gloves, the hamster, was quite good there. You're letting me down, lads.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, you said like that nice old guy in America. I thought you were going to say like Biden or someone. I was like, who's nice and old?
Oh,
Like,
what bloody dementia Dave? That like Starmer is basically going down the route of like
yeah.
putting himself into like a one-term situation by being a flaccid cock. Yeah.
It's a one-way ticket to a one-term situation.
Oh my God, you should probably
That lyric.
Yeah, that's good. Biden fucked everything for everyone. Like, just what was he even thinking? But then I do feel like we're dealing with a bunch of daffy old twats who basically don't know what they're doing. And exactly what the Democrats did, Labour are doing it now. They're making this thing where they go, don't worry, everyone will feel better, and then they'll vote for us. And then when people aren't feeling better, they go, but look, we've made the economy better, and we've created all these jobs. And people are like, but you didn't create a job for me. Like, I didn't get a job. I didn't get this. And they're being told every day that all the bad things in their life, the dog has died, the wife's left them, they can't get it up, and it's all the fault of the EU, immigrants, trans people.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's an absolute shit show, and I don't even know how we go about even beginning to fix it at this point, because the problem is we've got people that are going proper anti-immigration in the Labour Party at the moment, and they are not listening to like their core base, and they're driving them just and all the people in their comments are just like the far right, but even they don't them. And Marvin Richards, thanks for the super chat, but I'm not going to read that out on live because that's the kind of stuff you should put in my Instagram DMs.
Don't encourage them, Tan.
Thanks
for the super chat, mate.
Thank you, but that's not the time and the place, I think, for a full-on crack. But I admire your courage and I admire your enthusiasm. So
we also got a super chat from Chris C earlier. Culture wars are nothing more than a distraction. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
This is the problem, and I don't really know how we can overcome it, because they call it the mood of the nation when it couldn't be even. It's so far removed from how most people think. Most people just want trans people to just get on as they always have. They like drag queens. They enjoy the entertainment of going to a drag club. Trans women have been using women's toilets for years. The problem is obviously societally, globally, cis men when it comes to violent and sexual crime, like 90% plus of the stats. And it's just it's a distraction technique. And there's so many like distraction techniques. Like even today when they were talking about grooming gangs on the radio, the subtext was already there that they were talking about brown grooming gangs. And it's like not even close to the majority are from ethnic minorities committing these crimes. But people on the doorstep were saying things like, oh, there's men of fighting age coming over raping our women. They were actually saying that on the doorstep, the reports of it. And it's like they embed this in, and a lot of it, as I said, drawing back to what we were talking about earlier, was like on Facebook when they're putting these ads out that are all really pro-reform, pro-GB news. And they are like what the Nazis would be doing if they were able to spread propaganda now. I say if the Nazis.
Here's a fun little game for you viewers to play. You got a mate, someone that you know, some like neighbour or maybe a colleague or a relative who's just decided to become a massive fucking transphobe in the last few years, right? Get on their Facebook, get on their Twitter, and see if they said anything about trans people before they were told to say things about trans people. So anything before, like, I don't know, 2015, 2016, did they even mention it? Was it even on their fucking radar? No. Now it's on the radar because it's been told to be on their radar by Rothermere, Barclay, and fucking Murdoch. With a hint of fucking Musk and that horrible little Zuckerberg bloke.
Well, like Tate and such, and the prevalence of it is incredible. Like my Twitter feed, I've got like 250,000. I used to be able to like easily ratio and roast people like Anderson. And since the US election, my engagement has dropped to the point where I will get in like a day what I used to get in terms of interaction in an hour, in a day, in an hour. Like in a few minutes I used to get hundreds of people interacting with my posts. And it is so clearly like if you say a few of the bad words or annoy the Führer a bit. And like Tate Tate yesterday commented on Narinda Kaur's looks. She's a gorgeous looking woman.
Yeah,
like,
she is.
on Facebook. She's in her 50s. She's hot as hell. And Tate just commented too. Now, obviously, he got roasted because everyone was like posting the picture of him with his like
No
you know,
cock.
like he's got a Porsche's
No
bonnet,
cock.
nothing.
Yeah.
And
He's in
and-
Dogma. He's an angel in Dogma.
But you look under, and almost instantly, he was able to get 5,000 people liking his comment, and underneath it's like, oh, top G, and all these like little like incels in their mum's spare room, pot noodle and wank lads going, oh, I'd rate her a 1, I'd rate her this. It's like, mate, you've never even touched.
Just to talk shop for a moment, this is why Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter are shite, because you can't control them. You can come up with some fucking amazing thing that you've spent ages putting together, but the amount of people who'll see it is controlled by the people who run the fucking platform. YouTube's different. When you put something on YouTube, it goes out to your subscribers, and if they've hit the bell notification icon, there's a hint there, it'll go out to them saying, you know, there's going to be a live stream tonight at 7 o'clock, and it'll say notify me, and you press a little, and it will send you a push notification. That doesn't happen on the platforms, and that's why I think that Labour and other political parties on the left, the Greens, the Lib Dems, should be investing some time and energy, not money, because it doesn't cost anything, just some time and fucking effort into getting an audience on YouTube, because it's not up to the whims of the algorithm of, I know we make jokes about the algorithm because we want to spread our words, but when we've got an audience already, a pre-packed audience, like, you know, Tan, you've got like 63,000 subscribers. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And like, you know, they'll watch your stuff. They'll watch your stuff. This is fucking brilliant.
It is good, but there is still like a problem with that, because people have done tests where they've joined up with like brand new profiles, and they immediately get kind of like AI sex bots on their case, and or they get put into the far right kind of incel pipeline, even on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
And the same happens on Twitter too. So that's all being boosted for a very good reason, because it's just like systematic regression back to, oh, we want women barefoot and pregnant and battered and cooking our dinner, and we can hit them and we can, you know, attack them. And, you know, anything that goes beyond the kind of nuclear family setup is just like absolutely rejected. So it's all very heteronormative. It's all very, oh, masculine men, when they're not masculine, because masculinity, real masculinity, is strength. Kindness without, you know, it's just it's a bullshit concept that's being sold. But I don't know what it's like navigating as a man, but as a woman, I mean, I doubt you guys get, I mean, no offense, mate, but to Marvin there, but I doubt you guys get people going, oh, can I take you out for a slap up dinner on your thing? I mean, you get it all the time. Like,
There's one guy who sort of got a bit too much on there, and I had to like send a message privately and say, mate, fucking tone it down, please, because it makes me feel objectified, and I'm a bloke, and it makes me feel objectified. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you get people coming on your tits often, Aid?
Not my tits, no. Not anything really. Just yeah, I'd like to be objectified more.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You say that, but you actually wouldn't. You wouldn't, because you're like, what more?
I get objectified in the worst ways. Like, I'll go off on a rant about like Darren Grimes or like Donald Trump or something, and then somebody will like start commenting like, "Ha ha, nice teeth, you gappy cunt," and I'll just
say.
And I'm like, I mean, I've got quite a thick skin for it, so it's, you know, the internet's just a different place for women. Full stop.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, since
absolutely it is.
Just like I'm not going to bring the tone down or bring down the vibe, but it has been like just absolutely miserable. And it's either, and the smears as well. I mean, because at the time, like, I was on a platform of anti-Tory stuff, and there was loads of weird stuff going on, like people trying to hack into my emails, trying to like hack into my bank accounts, like up to stealing photos from like my social media and posting them onto FAP sites. And which is why I'm really like not a fan of people on like my YouTube comments or anywhere else just making any reference to my appearance, whether positive or negative, because that's not what I'm here to talk about. Like that I'm talking about politics, so it's a bit tiresome, it's a bit eye rolly. But
you know, just to go back to the
please do steer us back.
Twitter muting sort of algorithmic challenge that's going. Like, I read a thing in the New York Times last week, maybe 10 days ago max. And the headline for it was like, they had an argument with Elon Musk and then their reach disappeared. And it's not identical to your situation or our situations, because we haven't, to the best of my knowledge, ever engaged with Elon Musk directly. But it is, the nuts and bolts of it are the same, which is that you are providing content or commentary that goes against that alt-right contrarian narrative. And since that's happened, and since the re-election of Donald Trump and the elevation of Elon Musk, reach has disappeared, right? Like it's completely fallen off a cliff.
That's my point about the subscription thing, because on here, if you are subscribed to a channel, I'm not talking about, you know, going down a pipeline or being recommended other videos. I'm talking just straight up subscribers to your channel. If they've hit the notification icon, they should. Someone in the chat said I didn't get a notification, but you should get a notification when we put up a video. There's no equivalent on TikTok. There's no equivalent on Facebook or Twitter. You can have half a million followers and you put on a tweet and only 10 people will see it because they've choked it. I don't think that's exactly the same on YouTube. I've not had that experience.
I mean, you have to pay for reach now. The algorithm's changed about time since our early days, because Aid and I actually met via being the kind of...
Oh, sorry.
On
I'm not supposed to say that, am I?
TikTok in the end. What did you say?
I said grinder.
You did not mean kind of... I was just like thinking, do you think I'm a gay gentleman? I wish. Like, I think life would be a lot simpler if I was, in some respects. But no, we met on there in the early days, and it was quite accessible. You could still get your stuff out. People would interact with you, and it's gone through so many different changes. And it's like, I've got 258,000 followers on there. I've got 63,000 on YouTube, and I will get more views on YouTube than I will get on TikTok. But to bring it back, screaming, kicking and such, to the election, what do you think? What's your kind of like, where do you think it's going to go over the next 6 months politically, in terms of the government as we have it with Labour? What do you anticipate? Because we haven't got any more like local elections. Don't think we've got any more by-elections.
No. Yes, we've got a by-election coming up in Rees Mogg's old seat. Yeah. Labour MP let us down. In Somerset, and that's going to be taking place in the next couple of months. But by the way, we did get a super chat, and this links in what you just asked, Tan, from One Angry Pagan. It was a bit back.
How do we think coming legislation will be? It depends on what legislation you're referring to, really. I mean, I don't know if I assume that you're talking about
workers' rights bill, the Renters Reform Act, what they're doing with the NHS.
It's good stuff, you know. It is objectively
train nationalisation's another one, isn't it? I don't know when that's coming.
Well, that's already coming in. It was coming under the Tories, to be honest with you, because these franchises weren't profitable enough for the companies that were taking them over, and so they were falling into government hands. So LNER, who run the train line from here in Durham down to London, that's government run. It's been government run for years now because no one wanted to take it on. But as the contracts run out, as the franchises run out, whatever year they do, they're not putting it out to bid for other companies now. It's just going straight back to the government. So it's happening. It's happening.
I can see, like, just to go back to your question, Tan, I can see Labour's polling continuing to slide because of the things that, like, we touched on earlier, where they will continue to alienate their bread and butter voters, the sort of like Lib Dem, Green, left-leaning voters. They will continue to chase the reform light voters to the detriment of the aforementioned. I just can't see a way out of that trajectory unless they start listening to people. But I don't hold out much hope that they'll do that, because it seems to me like their strategist is hell-bent on following the reform narrative. He thinks that's a more realistic route, Morgan McSweeney, to attaining or retaining those votes. To me, that seems like lunacy. Maybe he's got really good, like, strategic intel that suggests that is the play to make, but to me it seems like
their director of comms who left, and I was like, what the fuck, they had a director of comms? Like, it's exactly
I think there is a little bit of truth in this. So that there's you've got to be a bit delicate here, because basically, if you start aping refuck, what you end up doing is moving the Overton window to the right. So it makes the outrageous statements that they come out with more acceptable. But at the same time, working class people in areas like this in Durham, you ask them like what the problem is, the biggest problem, and they'll say, "Oh, it's all the immigrants coming." There's no immigrants here in Durham. Mm-hmm. I mean, like this is so white cracker, this fucking area. It's ridiculous. It's a poor area. It was an old coal mining area, and now you've got some very wealthy people whose kids go to the university, 38% privately educated, and you've got like the Cummings family who own a massive estate near me, quite close to the city centre. But apart from that, do you know what I mean? The disparity between rich and poor is quite big. But these people have got it into their heads that the problem is the immigrants. So here's what I would suggest. Instead of going, oh yeah, we're going to smash the gangs, which is never going to happen, because if you smash a gang, another one appears in its place. It's like taking out a drug dealer. You just make it easier for another drug dealer to work in that patch, right? Yeah. You're not going to get rid of them. Unless you build a processing centre for asylum seekers in Calais. And you do a deal with the French, and you say, if we catch anyone coming across the channel, we'll take them back to even if they made it to our land, even if they made it to shore, we can take them back to the processing centre. So no one will bother. Just like in 2017 and before, when nobody came over here in a small boat. And then Labour can shout from the rooftops, fuck, we stopped the fucking boats. Yay! Did Refuck stop the boats? Did the Tories stop the boats? No, they didn't. We stopped the boats. And then you kill two birds with one stone.
Two birds with one stone. The problem is they're kind of controlling the national narrative. So Labour, even if they were to counter it, would be in a way legitimising it, because they're still, they are legitimising it at the moment, but it would just continue it. Yeah. That's it's just like, because they are just relentlessly platformed everywhere. And the way that the news was after this little local, which was only a snapshot, it was only like a very small amount of councils, you'd think they'd won an election. It was a general election. It was absolutely insane. His weird face was the head of every single headline, every single paper. And can we talk about, for 1 second, how ridiculous these right-wing populists look? Visually, they are bizarre. Trump is one of the weirdest roosters I've ever seen in my life. He looks like Pat Butcher gone wrong. How are people falling for it? And these guys are claiming to be the pinnacle of masculinity, and he's got his little, and he's like mahogany spray tan. He looks like a lady, and it's like, you're being anti-LGBT. Yeah, and like Musk with his gender affirming care and his hairline all neated out and his Botox.
And Hegseth, who has moved into the Pentagon but insisted on having his own makeup studio in there.
Imagine if a woman had done that. Imagine if a woman in the Democrat Party had demanded a makeup studio in the Pentagon. What would the fucking Murdoch press have made of that? Fox News every night for a year, it would have been, and then this is what happens when you allow women to have ideas above their station. They just want a makeup studio in the Pentagon. Jesus,
this is the problem. Is like, if we criticize on the left them for doing that, then it's politics of envy, isn't it?
Oh my God! Any form of criticism of anything they do is politics of envy. Even people that were supposed to be progressive were calling, people like us that didn't go to private school, like, oh, you're falling into the politics of envy because you think that farmers should pay a bit more, or private schools should be taxed.
We talk about stopping loopholes so rich people can't get away with not paying tax. One of the biggest ones they used was buying land, calling it a farm, and then they didn't have to pay, the kids didn't have to pay inheritance tax. It's fundamentally unfair, and they still only have to pay 20%. And it's still only it's only after about 5 million tax-free. And they can pay it back over 10 years.
Yeah, it's considerably lower on enormous wealth. Yeah. I don't know about you. Like, what laws would you bring in if you could? I would personally vote for toff hunting. So Sunday, you've just got like a free reign to take out a landowner of your choice on horseback, wolfback, badgerback, however you want to do it. You get to romp through the countryside and just take them out as
But
you.
like instead of having a sort of twatty like fox hunting garms on, like you have to wear a Guy Fawkes mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit purgy, actually. It's kind
Yeah,
of
it is a bit, isn't it?
purgy. Yeah.
I would just go for this is gonna be really boring. I would go for press reg.
Yeah, I'll go
to
for
my
that.
mind.
Living relentlessly in the real world here, man.
Yeah. Well,
I would too, obviously, but I like the thought of just, chasing after Rees-Mogg in the countryside. It makes me feel happy.
yeah.
I would ban private schools. My first one, just like they did in Finland, where they have the best schools in the world and the best outcomes in the world, because they banned private schools in the 1970s and actually made it unconstitutional to charge for education, and it just turned everything around. I'd also ban buy-to-let. So in the mid-90s, buy-to-let wasn't legal. You couldn't go to a bank and say, hey, I want to buy a house, but I don't want to pay for it. I want someone else to work every hour God sends, and I want them to pay for it instead. But I'll still own the house. Hey, I'm a landlord now. That's a proper job, like being a DJ. Anyway, so, and no offense, Aid, but yeah, that needs to go again. So in the mid-90s, the Tories were in charge and they changed it so you could get buy-to-let mortgages. And since then, the housing market has gone out the pocket of most people, rent is through the roof, and slum landlords, Sheriff Fatman, has taken over the land, and I'm absolutely sick of it. The renters reform is good to a point, but I think we need to have a whole new look at how we rent out property and how we allow, these people to make shitloads of money out of other people's labor for the benefit of having someone in your house. Because if you don't have someone in your house will get robbed. Everything in the house will get taken. The fucking copper, the fucking wires, it'll all be taken if you haven't got someone there. So shouldn't you have to pay someone to stay in your house if you can't stay there yourself?
But still, press reg pits
Same.
that.
You guys have just both taken this really fucking seriously. I was expecting
And press reg.
mental.
But talking about seriously, you've had 3 super chats in, and you might want to
shit.
have a quick look at them, because there's a rather.
I'm ready to scroll up. We got to, where did we get to last
Chris
time?
C.
Sorry, I'm doing this. Chris C. We need to start teaching critical thinking skills. I could not agree more. This is a massive problem that we have at the moment. I'm sure you guys and Aid in his I was going to put an ice sculpture in your place then. We definitely need to start teaching critical thinking skills because it's scary. And also, I think we need legislation in terms of to teach people how to spot, and legislation to curb disinformation. And but then that would also fall into social media regulation, which is a huge thing, which is probably less likely now. But yeah, massively agree with you there, Chris C. Matt Hancock, SAS. Miss me. I'm looking to get out of the house, so I'm happy to appear on the show for a small fee. Gina doesn't touch me anymore.
Oh,
Oh, mate. You don't get any of the corridor action that you used to get when you were dressing as the milk tray man and appearing on
whenever I think of like Matt Hancock and Gina, and like they sort of, he leaves the family home, doesn't he? And then they go off together and they were living together. I always think of that Ghostbusters 2 scene where he turns around to Janosch and he goes like, "Oh, Johnny, did you back the wrong horse?" Like, she's getting together with this cabinet minister. She probably thinks like it's, this is my new life now, ministerial car, all of these events.
when in fact he probably in reality ended up like Alan Partridge in a travel lodge, and he's got access to kids, but they don't want to see him.
Yeah.
We've got another one here. Oh, bloody hell, Robelorus, £49. Bloody hell bells, thank you very much.
Big spender.
Mega chat! Woo!
Go
Thank you.
Robelorus.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really kind contribution to the show. Chris C, it should be social housing, no private rents. I mean,
Yes. Absolutely agree.
Social
100%.
housing is the route that we need to go to fix all of this. Like
Yeah.
I always understand and accept the frustration that Graham so articulately espouses with this stuff, but I feel like in every major developed country there is always like private rentals, and the way that you temper the private rentals is by increasing the supply. And the way that you do that is to ramp up social housing, like a wartime house building effort.
Well, why does it have to be social housing? This is my question. Okay, so why can't councils build mixed housing? So some of it,
Sure,
you have a street and you build 50 houses, 25 on each side of the street, and half of them are social housing, half of them are to be rented out by people who can afford to pay rent, but it goes to the council. It goes to council services. It goes to the council to build more fucking houses. Instead of going into some fat fucking bastard sheriff fat man motherfucker's back pocket so they can spend their life in another country. I was talking about this today, actually. You know, the big thing that people have clobbered Labour over the head with was the taking away of the pension, what is it? The warmth allowance. What's it called?
Yeah.
The hot water allowance, keeping warm in winter allowance, the energy allowance. I'll get there in the end. Anyway, the winter allowance, winter fuel allowance. That's
Fuel
it.
allowance.
Right. Yeah. So here's the problem. Right. While 1 in 5 pensioners live in poverty, 1 in 5 pensioners are millionaires. And it's a bit wrong, I think, that those millionaires are getting that winter fuel allowance, especially when, cost of living for everybody else and the economy's not doing so well since you've Brexited. Right. Here's the mad thing, right? So not only are millionaires getting this winter fuel allowance, British millionaires who live in Thailand get that allowance. Yeah. Millionaire pensioners who are still drawing their British pension, but they live in Thailand, they're still getting a winter fuel allowance when they live in a country that doesn't have a winter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I don't think it was wrong to implement reforms. I think the problem that they had was that the threshold was too low. So there were people that were going to struggle with it. I think that they should have raised the threshold to people to make sure they could comfortably live as we all deserve to. But I think even if they had increased the threshold, it would have been marketed as Labour are freezing the poor anyway, which they could solve with fucking press reform. So
there you go.
Yeah, press reform's a really big one.
Here we go. We've got some more, I was going to say group chats. We've got our own group chats. They're the reason we're not allowed in America, I reckon. If anyone looked at our group chats, we would be detained. We'd have fingers up the bum. Graham wouldn't mind that. Graham Haller, a few years ago, my younger sister was trying to buy a house. She was finding that she was competing with buy-to-let landlords and getting outbidded in many cases. Yeah, absolutely. Massive, massive problem. Ivan Ambrose, thank you for the super chat. Ivan Ambrose, I thought this was on Graham's channel. Only just realised it's Supertanskiii. Renationalise water as soon as possible.
Couldn't agree more, mate. Thanks, Ivan.
Clive Lewis is doing some great work on this too. Yeah. He's a legend. He's doing his
Can we get Clive Lewis on here, Tan? I was thinking about this. Of all the Labour MPs who would be fucking boss on like YouTube and stuff doing a weekly show, Clive fucking Lewis. He should just run it. Just don't even wait for permission from HQ because they're never going to give it.
Who I could have as PM, it would be Clive Lewis, I reckon. Definitely.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you for the super chat. As an American, can you explain council housing? In the States, we have private developers. Well, it's the kind of clues in the name, really. It's kind of social housing by the state for people on low incomes. But it would be
like the projects in New York, right?
Projects,
like social housing. Is
it
similar over there?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. And Jenny Robinson, I worked on a regeneration project in Chelmsley Wood near Birmingham. The corruption I witnessed was disgusting. I quit after 6 months. And this is very much the same in social housing that's privately owned, because I worked in social housing for a while. That was like a housing association. I worked for 2 separate ones, and they would go out of their way to do basic repairs, just like regular slumlords. Like they would leave. One woman that I was desperately trying to help, but the system was against me, was living in her lounge because they wouldn't make the adaptation for her as a disabled person to go up the stairs because she needed to go up the stairs. And she was living in her lounge for 2 years whilst they were throwing it from area to area. I mean, obviously you'd get people regularly calling in that were just dicks, man. I mean, they were actual literal like drug dealers, but there was like a small proportion that would cause problems for everyone else. But the housing associations did not want to know, took no responsibility whatsoever. And I've heard that it's not that much better with councils. You're waiting years to get mold dealt with, just lie to you.
Professionalisation of councils would be a good idea, i.e. it's a full-time job looking after a city. It's not a part-time job that you get a little fucking stipend, you know what I mean, at the end of the year. But also, Toxteth in Liverpool, that has been an urban regeneration area since the 1940s. It's nearly 80 years now it's been a regeneration area. And what they do is they build some shit houses that are shit, and they only put people who are in social housing into those houses, that they're the only people who live there, and the area isn't looked after because people barely enough money to feed their kids, never mind make the place look beautiful or anything, and then that just feeds into this cycle of people, more generations of poor people coming and living there. And the quality of the housing is so bad that every 30 years they have to knock it all down and build some more shit houses that last for 30 fucking years. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And also, Liverpool City Council's been, riven by corruption for many years with people like Joe Anderson, who might end up in jail for what he's done, giving jobs to the boys. We were talking today about what's going to happen with Durham, because they're not going to sort out the potholes. They're not going to, they're not going to sort out the bins. Fuck your bins, they're going to say. Fuck your fucking bins. And it's going to be jobs for the boys. It's going to absolutely be jobs for the boys. There's a little windy road that goes up to the cathedral here in Durham, and it's tiny, and you've got loads and loads of people walking up and down the street. There's no pavement. It's just kind of like a cobbled street from side to side. And when a car comes up, everyone's got to move out the way. It's like Glastonbury. When a car's going through, a truck is going through in Glastonbury, and everyone's got to get off the fucking walkway. It's a bit like that. And so the council, the one that's just the outgoing council now, they put up the price of being able to go up the hill to like £5, and all the dickheads in their Audis who going up to pick up Guinevere and Tarquin from the private school, the private whatever. They were like kicking off about it, and I'm like, it should be £50 to be honest with you, unless she's disabled. There's no reason. There's literally no reason to have to go up that road. Anyway, so Refuck are probably going to get rid of that. It's going to be free. There's going to be no more like places to charge your electric car in town because they're so against what they deem as woke energy.
Oh, for fuck! I mean, I don't know how much real power they have, especially when it comes to like firing and stuff like that. As far as I'm aware, councillors can't like fire people. I didn't think that they could fire people.
No, but they have to vote on things like contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
this is why I think
council providers who have been provided for decades will be kicked to the curb because they have a gay person working for them or something horrible.
No, right.
Sorry.
I was just going to say this is what makes me laugh about Darren Grimes becoming a councillor. Because I feel like he lives, breathes, drinks and shits like culture war, distraction, nonsense, content, sound bites. So the idea that he's now going to be this councillor and care about like local government matters that are so piecemeal versus the sort of stuff that he rants about on his channel, on his Substack and his YouTube, and then obviously traditionally on GB News, is like national hysteria stuff.
Yes.
Right? It's like, bashing environmentalists, it's the boats, it's refugees. It's how the British, like indigenous Brits, are going to be in a minority. It's that sort of stuff. How is he going to operate? How is he going to psychologically survive being a councillor?
This is. Are you banned? Did you get banned from his?
No. I'm still very much a returning member of his chat, his comment section, his Substack. I implore all of you, please go to it. It's my favorite comedy channel.
Hilarious. It is unintentionally hilarious. It's like a gold mine. It's not quite the level of I don't think he means to be, but I saw one the other week where it was kind of like in his kitchen diner area, and he was just in his sweatpants, just rummaging around at the very beginning and just coughing, and he had his little bic and a piece of paper, and it's
he's fascinating to me. He's such a figure of, obviously you've got the sort of superficial, quite cruel, mean-spirited visuals to how much he looks like a sort of shiny doll. But then you've also got the other stuff where for a lot of people on the alt-right, the Crayola right, as I've begun terming them, there's always this question mark of are they being cynical? Do they understand that this is all fake and they're just riding that wave, making some money, or do they genuinely believe it? I always say to my viewers and listeners, I always say are they really this stupid, or are they just pretending that you are, or hoping that you are? And with a lot of them, it's hard to work that out. With a lot of them, your Dan Wootons, your Boris Johnsons, it's like, do you actually believe that Brexit could be a success, or are you just riding that wave? With Darren Grimes, there is no such ambiguity. With Darren Grimes, it's like I can see on his face that he truly does believe this stuff. Like when he's broadcasting his stuff about how like the changing face of the high street, and he doesn't see like as he walks down the high street, he hears like 10 different accents, 10 different.
We've lost Tan.
Oh fuck!
He's not paying attention, is he? Tan's disappeared, mate.
No, I'm just seeing the Zoom. I can't see.
Yeah,
YouTube.
Yeah, but Tan's in the. Is she in the Zoom? Is she?
Oh, it's like her.
It just has a name.
I can see an S for Tan. I just thought she'd turned her.
She turned the camera off. I've got it set so if you turn your camera off, you disappear. Tan, come back, Tan. I didn't mean what I said. I'll do some super chats while Tan's away. Oh no, she's back.
Sorry.
Back
I was desperate
too,
and I was going to die. I did try to tell you in the fuck you bins chat, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's Aid's fault for rabbiting on.
I didn't know because I could hear you, and I agree with what you're saying about Darren Grimes. Have you read out the super chats that we've?
No, I was about to. Did we read Jenny Robinson's about working on a regeneration project?
Yes.
We read that one. So you want to go from Andy Thompson's £5?
Could you stream this and the other streams on all of your streams collectively, pooling the chat income like a collective, more reach, more views? I mean, you can do I'd be up for that, but you guys should definitely follow Thompsin, Other Disappointments, and Politics Social. Could you put the ats in the thing for us there?
Yeah, they're in the description. So if anyone clicks on that, it'll take you to us. But we would like that. Come and subscribe.
Graham's streams are fucking brilliant. He is like a grafter, constant streaming, and the video content's really well written. I don't know why I was just picking my nose then. And Aid Thompson is Charlie Brooker meets a bitter father. It's really good.
Divorced dad.
It's my favorite. Like I would say, one of my favorite things that I like to watch that other people make is Aid, and I think Graham agrees as well. I mean, we all love Aid. And then there's Jazz.
Thank you.
66. You are welcome. Take it. I don't often say nice things.
Take it.
Oh, it should have been set at a national minimum wage, approximately 20. Yeah, for everyone, not just for pensioners. And yeah, I agree with that, definitely. Alec Bart. Also, we need UBI. My local council housing is really good quality. A lot of old people live in them. So even when the Tories are in charge, the quality is still good quality, but local Tories are like the DUP. Well,
yeah, they are.
A cigarette paper between them, isn't it? Welcome to F the Tories, Jenny Robinson. And God, enough one. Thank you, by the way. And Tripod 9000. We need more of this unholy trinity. Here's to the demonetisation fund. Thank you very much. I mean, I was going to ask you guys, because I can't really say who it is that I know that's in America at the moment. But he's a British-born Muslim, right? And we've been talking a lot about the state of things. And obviously, to draw away from the fact that he's living under an actual fascist, and I'm really worried he's going to be sent to El Salvador for saying something subversive. I mean, he's had to come off of all social media. Yeah. This is the point he's at. But he came up with some the idea to deal with fucking dick, sorry. A way to deal with Labour's insanely controversial with their move to the right, or the shift to the Overton window, would be for Labour to put some insanely controversial laws in place that were massively left wing. One of the ones he came up with, or we came up with together, I was, how on Fridays in the office, you have you can chill out and you can wear whatever you like. It's kind of like what's that called?
Just down Friday, yeah.
Yeah, he you have to be in drag for the entire week, but you can wear straight clothing on a Friday, was one of the ideas he had. And also another one was no public toilets at all for anyone. No toilets, just no toilets at all in public. And you have to kind of free piss, basically. And if you're caught trying to use a toilet, then you get a massive I don't know what other ideas you guys could possibly come up with. Another one was you're only allowed to go to private school if you've got autism.
Yeah, but then that means that this happens anyway, because there's definitely a disability tax Like if you are born into a family that has the money for it, you can get the support that you need as an autistic
you're right.
person, ADHD, if you're Down syndrome. Also, this bleeds through to things like being trans. Like if you are trans as a teenager now and you go to a state school and your parents can't afford to fly to another country for gender affirming care, you're not going to get it. You're going to be sitting on a fucking NHS waiting list for 7 years just to get, just to see a consultant. It's horrible. And so loads of people go private, and it's becoming this two-tier thing where, they make these horrible rules about us not being able to travel around Europe and not being able to change our gender if we want to and all this kind of stuff. And it affects us, but it doesn't affect the rich. None of this affects the rich. And so, I'd just get rid of private schools. I'll burn them all down. I mean, I'd let the kids out first. I'm not a monster.
Obviously gone to you guys are living relentlessly in the real world tonight, so I'm gonna have to go harder. What about turning all churches into mosques?
No, brothels.
Ooh. Do you know what? I had
brothels,
I
big gay brothels.
I think I
gay
did
Turkish
a thing
bathhouses.
on my pod a few months ago.
Hey,
where
come with me. Come with me. Stop advertising your pod. Come with me to my big gay Turkish bathhouse in a converted church. Mate, we can be in the steam, the stained glass window, the light, the shaft of light coming through the onto our glistening naked bodies. Come on.
We'll be visible.
How do you not want that?
I mean, I didn't say I didn't want it.
Oh, right. You were talking about your fucking pod or something?
Relentlessly straight. I mean, this is the problem. I mean, you're not Graham.
No, I'm anybody's after half a baby sham.
The most relentlessly
half a baby sham, you said.
Half a baby sham.
Sorry.
No, I would knock down all the churches. That would be my turbo left wing policy.
No,
because so many of them are empty, and then I would build social housing on the top, just knowing how much it would piss off the male.
No, but they're beautiful buildings. They're beautiful buildings, Aid. No. Convert them into social housing, and then people can live in beautiful churches.
Okay. And Christmas is one of them.
Ban Christmas? Knock down the churches, ban Christmas.
I mean, look, what we've got to do is left-wing policy so outlandish when they try to stuff that's broadly okay. It will, you see, this is the game that we're going for here. You got to make sure that it's.
Yes. Well, let's discriminate openly against kids who went to private school.
I mean, but that comes under toff hunting.
Yeah. No, we don't have to shoot them. We just deny them any basic services. So you can only get a coffee if you went to private school. You can only get coffee if it's made. The barista also went to private school.
Right. Yeah.
And they have to try and navigate the world where 93% of us didn't go to one of these fucking posh fucking borstals.
Yeah. So you're only allowed stuff if the other person went to a
private school. But no one who went to private school works in a coffee shop. So good luck getting coffee, twats.
I reckon you could filter it down further. In fact, no pun intended with filtering.
I was going to say.
Hey.
But you could challenge them even further to really filter out the super tops. You could go okay, what do you want? You want a cappuccino or latte or something? Tell me how much a latte costs, and see if they're in touch with the real world. I don't fucking know. You say some numbers to me normally, and I scan my phone. That's it.
Tough tax. So when they take your name for the coffee and you say Tarquin, they're like, okay, they put the tough tax on 50%.
How much is bread? How much is the local?
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay then. Fuck off.
It can be.
The alarm goes off and the shutters come down.
It can be the left-wing version of what is a woman? They come up instead of what is a woman. How much is a coffee? I don't fucking know.
What is the average earnings of a British person? What are the average earnings of someone? What's the average rental price in London?
What about for a left-wing policy? Is it possible? Probably not. But could it be possible? Also probably not. But hear me out. Could we extradite Luigi Mangione to the UK and then drop our charges to, and then let him claim asylum here, like because he was persecuted in the US,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's an adversarial nation now.
I like
That
that.
would be a good left-wing policy.
How about this, right? We've got about 147 or something billionaires in this country. So how about, like in Logan's Run, when you turn 30, they kill you, right? Because they have this permanently youthful population. Once you reach 1 billion, you get put to death, and all your money gets spread out amongst the people.
Fucking hell.
Ooh.
How about that? Public execution.
Luigi Mangione can do it.
Yes. Oh, this works out beautifully.
But also, like, I would like to register to give him a sign in my pants, if I may. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about me being relentlessly straight. I would suck him off just out of
out of
admiration.
respect. It's like,
Mechanically, I would suck him off. Just is that
Do you
all right?
see? Do you see?
all right.
Is that okay?
God,
Thank
he's
you.
like a spaghetti lesbian, straight till wet. Anyway.
Okay, we've got some more super chats coming in. I'm glad that we've got to this point where we've finally started being ridiculous. So
Yeah. Well, you know, fuck your bins.
fuck you, bitch.
bins.
Fuck you,
Luigi was framed.
Tim Phillips, Luigi was framed. I've got a framed picture of him. I look at it nightly. Phillips White. Darren Grimes looks like a ventriloquist doll that has been smeared in Vaseline and left in the corner for 10 hours. Fucking hell.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you very much, Tim, for that image. And you are right. One angry pagan. I don't know what's it.
Peggy.
One angry
Pagan?
pagan.
Pagan?
Compulsory support for mercy for badgers. I mean, I love a badger.
Yep.
You're very correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Why not? Why
Very
not?
wise.
Ivan Ambrose still soul destroyed with getting nowhere on this platform. What do you mean in terms of followers, lad? Or do you mean in terms of getting nowhere in terms of, like, you know, joy in this?
I think he's talking about the difficulty of getting subscribers on this platform. It's a lot harder than it used to be.
It is, yeah. I mean, unless you've already got a massive audience and then you bring it here, like I did. I mean, I had a huge amount elsewhere, whereas Aid has always been. He's always been here. It's like The Shining. I've always been here. So you've been here since, like, for years. You actually interviewed Gemma Forte years ago before any of us even knew her.
Yeah, I had a YouTube channel like for comedy stuff, which I very rarely uploaded anything to it. And then when you and I met on TikTok and my reach on that died, I was like, oh, maybe I'll try YouTube then. So I moved over and I've been taking that a bit more seriously for the last, I guess it's a couple of years now. But yeah, it's a slog.
It's a slog.
Really is. And like the last couple of weeks, like I've been seriously thinking, like, oh, can I even be bothered? What am I doing?
Well, that's why everyone needs to go and subscribe to Aid's channel and immediately at Aid Thompsin. Unfortunately, your name's come up on the screen here, and you've put it on Skype as your actual bloody name. You put Adrian Thompson.
Can I
change?
Go to the participants.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
And then you can change your name to at Aid Thompson, and then that'll be what people need to go to.
In this chat now, and just subscribe to Aid. I think you'd hit your 10.
It's his first day here.
You reckon?
There you go. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Go there, please, and subscribe to him.
Yeah,
and
please do.
if you do, I will reward you by showing you Aid's tits.
Yes. Quick, everyone to Aid Thompson's. Also, I was going to say, like, since the election last year, I've had no new subscribers on Politics Social. Like, none. Yeah, it's just flatlined on 41,500.
Oh shit! And of course, Politics Social. Could you also add your little hello in there so people can do the same to you too?
Hello. What do
But,
I'm in the description. Aid is doxing himself. We all know what Aid Thompson's real name is now.
Well, Aid,
He's
I mean,
doxed.
who could have told? Who would have known from that it was actually? It's
Do you know what? I held up. I got something through from Labour HQ, and I held it up and went, "Oh, I got this letter from Labour HQ. Have my fucking address on it on a live stream." And I went,
"Oh, Belen."
Yeah,
that really is doxing.
I know. But
When
then I
was
watched
it?
it
Is it still up?
back. I watched it back, and because of the settings on the camera, the exposure's set to stay on what it is, so it doesn't go up and down. And luckily, it just came up as a blank bit of paper. You couldn't actually.
And what is your address again?
It's your dad at your house in your bathroom.
In your dad's
So
balls.
it's just simply your mum.
Your mum.
yeah.
Your ma.
Your ma.
Your ma.
Graham, super chat. Jenny
Yes.
Robbins, £2.
Thank you.
Any politician who votes for war has to fight it. Yeah, because for years they've sent us out like fucking droids
I
into
like
the
that.
battlegrounds as like henchmen of the state, and fuck them. Like, send the Tories to war. Andy Thompson, thank you, Jenny. Andy Thompson, thanks. £5. Left-wing policy. Oh, hello, we've got one. Drag hunting to become drag queens on horseback, chasing refuck members across the countryside. I mean,
That sounds beautiful.
That's perfect tough hunting.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds like a great Sunday afternoon, doesn't it?
I
Sunday
would
pursuits.
go
Come home,
out. I would
watch Last of the Summer Wine, Songs of Praise. Go out, shoot some toffs.
there. You know,
Would you then come back to the pub, like the country pub afterwards, and you would have like a Farage head like above the fire, with, like stag things coming? I mean, how far can we take this? Let's run with it.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
What's it called when they stuff the animals? There's a name for it.
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy. That's it. A taxidermy Farage above the fire. There you go.
I hate his face. It's the most fucking distressing thing about these motherfuckers doing well in the polls and everything.
But would you still
see their
hate his
faces.
face if it
What?
was traumatized and like that above a fire? I think I'd quite like that.
No,
I'd
I
drink
just
that.
hate his face. Him and Trump in particular, and Boris Johnson. You don't see Boris Johnson anymore. But when you used to see, you used like having to every time you go on a news channel now, you scroll on it on your phone or whatever, news websites, you see pictures of that orange twat over in the States, and he makes me feel fucking physically sick. And then Farage with his massive fucking frog mouth going, fucking hate him.
With like gin and super kings.
I see these motherfuckers more than I see my family in real life.
Yeah, it's really
You see,
disturbing.
and you see more pictures of Trump than you see of your friends.
Do you know what? A good idea would be to have that technology that's in like one of the early Black Mirror episodes where you block people in real life, so they're just like pixelated.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Like far right politicians, just like block them from being able to interact with the world around them. That would be.
There are like Chrome extensions out there where it will switch out pictures of Trump.
So
for, like,
one of my viewers made one for me.
Yeah,
Blocks it out. So if Trump is in the alt text of the image, the picture just doesn't come up.
Oh, well, that's
nice.
So you know it's a picture of Trump because the alt text comes up and tells you, but you don't actually see them.
One sec, guys. I've got Alistair Kerr. Welcome to Fuck the Toys. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Bolton has got a question here, which is quite concerning. Why is Graham in my bathroom?
Well, hey. Well, Scott.
So it is a green screen.
There's actually just a toilet over there.
Law of free pissing, I think.
Is that a badger in the background?
You see, it is because we're badger. I've also got a blue shell somewhere. I need to get a blue. I'm going to put a blue shell there because I like the concept of a blue shell. This is from Super Mario Kart.
Yes.
You're not doing well. You throw a blue shell and it nukes the person on in first position. It nukes. It fucking blows them the fuck up. And that's how we should do society.
The best ways
That's
to
how
do it.
society should work.
When they're on a corner or they're near the drink, that's one of my favourite ways to get
Yeah.
them. When I'm playing Mario Kart, I'm never in 8th. I am fucking brilliant at Mario
Yeah, but then you hear that noise, and you think, oh, the blue shell's coming. The blue shell's coming.
This is the political commentary we all came for.
I've won money. I won money on a bet on Mario Kart. That's how good I am.
Beautiful. Did you hustle them, Tan? Were you all like, oh, I don't know how to play this? And everyone's like, ha 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 ha. I bet you 50 quid you can't beat me. And you're like, oh, okay. And you're holding the controller upside down. You're like, oh, and then as soon as the game starts, as soon as the race starts, you're like, ram, fuck off to the end.
Yeah, I was playing a man and he just automatically assumed
You didn't even have to hustle him because you're a woman.
A woman, he just assumed I was incapable because of my brilliant tits. Right. Who's ideally, I need someone to sit down with me and show me what to do. Oh, hang on a minute. With my channel. Oh, thank God. It's need to understand and learn in person. I bet you say that to all the girls, Ivan. Yeah, it's really not really something that it's just a case of I will check out. I'll make a note and I'll have a little look at your channel.
Well, I know Ivan. I don't think Ivan's interested in you in that way, Tan. But yeah, I know Ivan. And like, you know, if you want some advice on it, I'm sure I can put some time aside to go through it with you. So don't worry. What? What are you saying, Tan? What?
Stop fucking interrupting me. It was just a little joke, wasn't it? I don't mean it. Dan,
joke.
thank you. Sub to Aid, he's submitting to you. And Politics Social, thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Isn't in my sphere with you guys and the likes of the troll. Love the troll girls, man.
Troll. Did you get them on?
There's few people on this planet that are as fun at parties as Gemma Forte. She is a babe, and they're both ace. Jeff Bostick, thank you very much for the super chat, $10. Yuri, bouge tattoos for all. Viva la revolution. I agree, but I'm not putting bouge on my fucking body. That's mental.
Well, then you'll never be in the cult.
I know. I've not joined Aid's cult. I call him something that sounds like cult. Many books, £5, thank you. Show solidarity with China by adopting their idea of having a Karl Marx Day. It's quite ironic, isn't it, that China is, thank you, ahead of the, like, actually ending up being further ahead of most of us, despite being a terrible polluter, on renewables. Like, they're actually.
Yeah. Can I just interrupt? Someone's just come into the chat. All right, Lag. Bloody hell, mate. Long time no see.
Who?
Lag Monster. He helped me get my island. You know, I won the island in the game show. I couldn't have done it without Lag Monster. So thank you. He also came and stayed on the island afterwards. So
I told these guys earlier when I was telling them that I'm going to be on with you guys. I was mentioning just how much you hate talking about the island. Never. Hello to the person that helped.
We've also got Alistair Kerr, who's gifted 5 gift memberships to your channel. How good is that? So now Pete, Tripod, Orla, Henry D, and Veg Pie, hi Veg Pie, are all now members of your channel. Woo!
Welcome to the party, pal. You're going to be disappointed or happy depending on how you see the world.
I was at the Labour Party conference, last 2 Labour Party conferences with Veg Pie. You might have met her when we were at the conference a couple of years ago.
Oh man, it was a bit.
Maybe you'd left by then.
Bit of a blur.
Bit of a blur.
God, it's fucking boring, the conference itself, isn't it? It's so boring.
It's going out though. You know, me and Femi, we went out. We went to Dawn Butler's reggae night. You know, it was Jamaica night at the Camp and Fairness, and then the next night we were having drinks with Hugh Grant. Oh yeah,
Lord.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Oh well, I'm no stranger to.
If anyone wants to come to Liverpool for the conference, you don't have to go to the conference. It's all about what happens after the conference.
Oh, Hugh Grant's old news to me, man.
Oh, okay.
No,
got friends in high places.
He actually literally gave me a nickname.
Woo!
Yeah,
What
but
did he call you?
Can't say what it is. I think it's on some levels offensive.
Will we get demonetized?
Okay. No, we won't get demonetized. It's just it relates to a play on words or of my full real name. So it's reference. Yeah, and obviously implications to that of a certain leader.
I mean, that's almost as bad as holding up your own postal address. So you don't want to give it away.
Yeah, it's not good, is it, man?
It's not as bad as getting sucked off by a prostitute in a car though and getting arrested because you keep pressing the fucking brake pedal down. You don't realize you're in an American car. And even when it's stationary and the engine's off, you press down the brake pedal, the lights go on in the back. So the police walking along can always see when someone's getting a blowjob.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, they saw the lights on his car. He's been interviewed about it and he was laughing about it. He's like, oh, they do things differently in America. The lights come on, even when the car's not on.
I don't know that was the kind of like situation in which it happened, but I'd just like to say that era of Hugh Grant, I wouldn't have made him pay. That's all I'm going to say. Made him pay. He'd have got that.
I like him more now. He's having the fucking time of his life, isn't he? He's just brilliant.
Real life, isn't he? He is still gorgeous.
He's just having a great time. He was fantastic in Paddington. He was in Bridget Jones, wasn't he? He's all the Bridget Jones movies. And he was in what was he in more recently? Willy Wonka. He played the Oompa Loompa.
You see, I'm really that because I don't like that kind of film, but I would say that he came into his own, and I don't know if I was supposed to be turned on by his character in Heretic at first, but I was. But he was sexy in Heretic, even though he played like a killer, because he was just really knowledgeable. And
Spoilers! I haven't seen it yet, Tan.
well, I've not given anything away apart from the fact he's fit and he knows a lot about a lot, and that's what did it for me. It was just like he had this kind of like searingly good knowledge of music and theology, and I was like, well done.
Music and theology. That's our next show. Fuck your bins. Music and theology. With Thompsin, Supertanskiii.
I think that I'm one of those, God botherers. No offense. But
Are we supposed to be talking about politics? Are we supposed to be talking about politics? What are we supposed to be talking about on this show?
How do we bring it back to politics then?
Fucking bins.
Fuck your bins. Oh, and I'm sure everyone knows that that's based on what was the name of that?
Andrew Gwynn.
Okay, so I think we should do prick of the week.
Prick of the week. Bum, 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 bum. Prick of the week. Prick of the week.
Is that what I was supposed to make an animation?
I did it. I just showed it to everyone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also showed them the animation. Yeah, I made a little animation. It says prick of the week.
You just got it out for the lads.
I got it out for the boys.
Will I start us off then whilst Aid grapples for one, or do you want to start, Graham?
Do you know what ADHD really stands for? All day hard. No. So prick of the week. Oh my god, there's so many to choose from. Was I supposed to have thought about this in advance?
Should I go first? Because I'm doing this out of personal vengeance.
Yeah, go on. You go first because you've got someone in mind.
Yes, my prick of the week actually hit me today. I mean, there are plenty from the local election, but I'm going to go for Jonathan Hinder. He's a Labour MP, one of the because of his beliefs. I was going to go 2019 intake, but that's absolutely not what he is. He's
Blue Labour, isn't he?
2024 intake. He's a former policeman, which is probably why harassing women comes naturally to him. He is the MP for Pendle and Clitheroe, right? And if you look at his Twitter account, you will see him pushing this reform bullshit with all the far right people in his comments. And he's actually, unfortunately, one of the people that I think we helped get over the line with tactical voting in the last election.
Yeah, he won by like 900 votes, didn't he?
He's giving it the big one for a guy with a majority of 902, especially that helped to get him in power.
Clitheroe's a very Tory area as well. He's not going to win in the next election. That's probably why he's a blue Tory, because he knows unless he reforms refuck, he's not going to win.
And he was sitting there today on his 93 grand a year income, saying to me, a working class woman, that I should stop focusing on the trans activism. I'm just being a decent person and sticking up for trans people. I'm not a trans activist. Because it's not what the working classes want. It's like, I think I've got a better idea, mate, of what working class people want as one. And also, it's good that he knows what a woman is, because this woman is going to make it her personal mission to fuck him up now. So he's going to have videos made about him. He's going to be mercilessly roasted on every social media platform that I have. And everyone's going to know what a massive weapons grade cunt he is. So Jonathan Hinder, fuck you. I advise everyone in this chat here to go and troll him.
Jonathan Hinder, the clit of Clitheroe.
Clit. Yeah, in response to one of the tweets that someone put out, he just wrote immigration in lines. It's not even what matters to people. Him, McSweeney, the lot of them. Starmer's got a choice now. He chooses McSweeney, or he chooses winning the next election, keeping his voter base. Even now it's going to be a difficult road back, even after what they've already done. So the longer that they drag it out, the worse they're making it for themselves. Because I am a lifelong Labour voter, lifelong, and I was a member. I didn't renew it because I'm not renewing. I was going to see how they're going. There's no chance I'm renewing under this Labour government.
Phil Morehouse has left Labour.
Morehouse has also left.
Fucking
And
Phil Morehouse of all fucking
Wow.
I'm surprised by Phil. With me, it was like ADHD. It ran out, and I just
people. It's like
Like,
returning something that's wrong.
He
Got
did
these
say-
products filling up the house that are the wrong thing, but I never get around to actually sending them back.
I'll be completely honest. A part of it was the fact that they were all getting loads of free shit, and I was like, well, if you can take free shit from Lord Alley, like you can just pay. I don't need to pay you £5 a month when I'm broke, do I? So just fuck you. Like there was that part of it. But I was also seeing how they're doing, because as I said relentlessly, even though all the we told you so wankers don't hear you, like I said, I'll hold them accountable on their record,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I've been doing, and under them now, no chance. Like, am I going to be a member again? And for the first time in my life, I'm reconsidering voting Labour, like in the next.
Wow, that's
Really?
quite epic.
And I'm someone that took fuckloads of abuse for not criticising them prior, because I thought, you know what, the right wing press is doing enough of that.
Yeah, but we need to get the Tories out, and all three of us supported tactical voting. So we were saying to people, don't vote Labour in certain places. Vote for the people who are vote for the candidate who is most likely to defeat the Tories.
But also, it was like,
And some people say, "Oh, I told you so." It's like, what, you wanted to keep the Tories in, because that's the only time you get to say, "I told you so." You can say,
Yeah.
"Oh well, you should have all voted Tory," and then nothing would be the world would be fantastic, and the Supreme Court decision would have gone the other way, and all this kind of shit. Wouldn't that? They'll be still
I was
deporting
just gonna
people to
say, like-
Rwanda at the cost of £1 billion a week.
it was also like just step one, wasn't it, on a trajectory? It was like, okay, step one, get the Tories out.
Yeah.
Step two, Labour form a government. I remember saying, like, I hope that they don't get a massive majority. I hope that they have to go into coalition with the Lib Dems.
You did. We did take
Yeah.
that. We're like, what are you talking about? But no, you're right.
And I think that would have been a healthier place for them politically.
They did-
But the idea was that once they're in and they form a government, then lobby groups like ours then have a line into them. You can at least have a conversation with them and negotiate and pull them in the right direction. But I haven't seen any evidence that that's happening. I don't think they're listening to anyone except for Nigel Farage at the moment. So yeah.
Well,
I
this
don't know.
brings me to my prick of the week,
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
Keir Starmer, for saying,
Oh, thank God it wasn't me.
Well, Aid always.
Aid and
Aid, darling, you're my prick of the year.
Oh,
Ooh.
None of this weak tea week. No.
yeah. Let's
No.
go into
Yeah.
your renovated church mosque
Yeah.
sexuality thing.
Fuck. No,
It's
sorry.
not a mosque. That would be quite sacrilegious. No, I'm saying converted church, convert it into a big gay Turkish
Did you
bath.
say? I thought earlier you said it was a mosque. Have I just like?
No, you were saying turn it into a mosque. Someone
No,
else
I
was saying.
churches in, like I said, like replace churches, not turn into, replace churches with mosques.
If you go to
Right.
the
I just meshed it all
cathedral in Seville, it was built as a church, and then it became a mosque, and then it became a church again, then it became a mosque again, and then it became a church again. So if you go into there, there's like little chapels that are like a mosque chapel inside the cathedral, because Seville was part of Andalusia. It was part of Moorish Spain for many hundred years.
I was going to say, will you suck me off in there? That's all I need to know. And then I wanted to.
Can I talk about my trick of the week first, or are you gonna?
Yes.
It's all right. You can tell us. Well, you said Keir Starmer, just for saying we're going to go further and faster towards the fucking iceberg. That's right ahead of us.
What is he, Daft Punk?
Maybe just
Going
a few inches to the left, Keir, and then you'll steer clear of the big refuck iceberg. But no, they're ploughing straight into it. The most stupid thing Labour are doing right now is backing the Supreme Court decision to call trans women not women, right? When they are, especially if you've got a gender recognition certificate. This is going to go to the European Court of Human Rights, and they are going to say, hey, that's a violation of the human rights of trans people, which it obviously is. And then that is going to be like all the Christmases come at once for Nigel fucking Farage and his horrible little twatty billionaire mate, because they can just go, oh, look, a foreign court telling our courts what to do. We're not going to stand for this. Vote for us and we'll get rid of them. We'll get rid of the European Court of Human Rights. And he will ride that fucking train all the way into number 10. And Labour need to get ahead of it. Labour need to go, right, we're going to take the legislation that we put in place in 2010, Labour, the last government, that put it in place. They can say, right, we're going to add a little annex to the end, a little star, little asterisk, and it says, in this legislation, women refers to cisgender women and trans women with a gender recognition certificate. And then that can, and yes, they will get a load of shit off the newspapers. They always do anyway. But what? It's going to be like Labour defy the Supreme Court. It's not going to be a foreign court defies the Supreme Court, because this is a huge fucking trap, and it seems as clear as day. It's like, you know that bit in Austin Powers where the steamroller's coming towards the guy and he's like, ah! And then you see it from the long shot and it's like, ah! And he's like, it's miles away. It's coming really slowly. That's Labour right now. They're that guy going, ah! And you're like...
around the forest, right? Just like the bear traps and just offering their legs to it. Like they're just like... putting their legs into the fucking trap. This is exactly what refuck want. Well, actually, I say refuck. Refuck is just a fucking host body for the tapeworm that is Nigel Farage and Heritage Foundation, 55 Tufton Street, motherfuckers who just want to take your rights away. That's all they want to do. They want to take away your working rights. They want to take your rights as an individual, your right to be able to speak your mind, because they want to keep that for themselves, and they will. But everything else they want to take from us, because they're sadistic little fucks. And nothing is enough. Nothing is enough for these people. They've got all the money in the fucking world and they're still not happy. Elon Musk turns up, in his Doge thing. And he's like, I'm the richest man in the world. Quick, give me my fucking chainsaw because the system's not working. And you're like, you're the richest man in the world. It seems to have worked pretty fucking well for you, Elon. The problem is there's these poor kids and they're getting money. Getting food. They're getting food. Imagine that. Bastards, yeah, how dare they? How dare they? Hate them. Yeah, and Labour's fallen right into the trap, and Keir Starmer, fucking wake up. You look like Mr. What's his name? The guy, Roger Irrelevant. Roger Irrelevant from the fucking Viz. It sounds like Roger, yeah. Someone showed a picture of that, and I just thought, oh my God, it's Keir Starmer. Well, that was very, very passionate rendition, and I agree with all of it. Just to address something that said, sorry to interrupt, Tan, but purity vendetta. So what the fuck happens to 99% of us stuck in the eternal queues for gender recognition certificates? You're absolutely right. The process needs to be sped up massively, and at the moment you need to get to get a diagnosis of gender dysphoria from like 7 doctors and the man on top of a mountain in the fucking Himalayas or something. So yeah, absolutely hand in hand with that. But that will take legislation, that will take a little bit of time. And while I want to see that happening, something they could do right now without having to introduce a new bill, take it through Parliament and all that kind of shit, use a statutory instrument to amend the Equalities Act of 2010 and make it clear. But I think they've done the dash now. Now, if they do that, it'll be seen as a betrayal and a U-turn and all the other shit. Fuck! Anyway, sorry, Tan, I interrupted. This had better be fucking good, mate.
It's like I've had Graham open for me, and now I've got a headline. Like, what the fuck?
I started off with a personal vendetta. Graham really came through, man. And...
mine. I would go for Tony Blair. He's my prick of the week.
Oh, really? Oh, what? Yeah. He's looming like a fucking weird.
Because he's a disappointment to me in the sense that I never really got on board with the whole actually Tony Blair is a conservative with a red tie. I thought he did do some good things back in the day in the New Labour days, although it was before I was, radicalized by Brexit and re-entered the political conversation. But to see him set up, run, expand, and very well fund this Tony Blair Foundation, and to pull in funding from the United Arab Emirates, from state-controlled oil conglomerates, and then none of this is an accident, by the way. This PR campaign that came out earlier in the week, where he says net zero is doomed to fail, and we need to rethink our strategy to this. It's on the front page of the Times, the Telegraph, and then Nick Ferrari's on LBC saying Tony Blair has said like Nick Ferrari would ever listen to Tony Blair any other fucking week of the year. But for this, he will channel some Blair. So for me, it's to have gone from the New Labour days when the environment was actually being taken seriously, and to go from that Labour centre-left administration to where he's at now, which is actually not that different a place from Richard Tice from Reform, disparaging the idea of having to meet a net zero commitment. To me, it's just a huge disappointment.
Yeah,
And it reeks of cynicism. It reeks of like self-enrichment, of donors, of shady deals, of brown envelopes. So yeah, I don't know.
It's
Fuck
very
him.
corrupt. Like it feels very corrupt, and it feels very like nakedly self-serving. That's the way that
Yeah.
I describe it. Plus, as someone that is broadly massively unpopular, him popping up like the ghost at the feast constantly isn't doing Labour any more
The
favour.
day before elections.
The
Yes.
day before elections, and you know, the problem with him is like at the time he seemed really like by 90s standards, he seemed really plausible at the time. He seemed like, you know, but when you watch back, when I watched the Labour documentary that was on the BBC like a little while before, like it was last year at some point, and you look at him and you think, God, you are clearly an actor. Like it's so clearly an act. It's a proper sales job that he's doing on people. I love personally, like I shouldn't let myself like politicians, but I really like Gordon Brown because whilst he did good work on Northern Ireland, Tony Blair, he ended up kind of finding his place being the kind of like messianic kind of like going around the world, you know, took the global stage. Whilst he was doing that, like Gordon Brown was sorting out all the shit at home and implementing kind of like redistribution by stealth. But the way that he's popping up, he's not a popular figure. He is just, but he just seems to like people on the right just get featured, or whenever he wants it, he can just get the coverage, can't he?
Yep.
Itself is really weird because I don't understand, like
He's a major political figure, right? Not least because of the Good Friday Agreement, but also because of the wars, but also because he won 3 terms. So he is, whether we like it or not, whether anyone likes it or not, he's a political titan. And when he opens his mouth, people are going to listen. I just think it's really interesting that his foundation is now taking funneled in money from oil rich authoritarian states. And he's now decided to row back on his own personal like environmental agenda. Like you're right. It stinks of corruption. It smells like corruption because it is corruption, basically.
it blatantly is. I'm surprised that on this week of all that you've gone for him, but he is definitely someone that I think people need to look at more because he's
Tan, I've got to ask though, you know, when you hear the name Gordon Brown, because you do like him, do you start singing Gordon Brown Texture Like Sun, or is that just me?
Yeah.
Every time. Every single time. To the point where I used to start my tweets, Gordon Brown Texture Like Sun. And then his wife followed me on and I was just like, I sent her a little message. It was around the time of the general election. And I said, look, I just want to say, like, I'm not supposed to really, because I try not to trust any of them anymore because they just disappoint me. But I'm a big, you know, fan of, and I know the Scots have got a lot of feelings about this, but yeah, I love the guy. Like, I think he did a lot of good. And whereas like he redistributed via stealth, the new lot are blatantly just robbing. So it's kind of like they could learn a lot from Gordon Brown. But anyway,
we have a super chat, and then we got a message from Aid in our little chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so questionable. Have we got any before this actually? Because
no, it's just questionable insanity.
Questionable obscenity.
Yeah.
It's very simple. We can either get all of our energy directly from the sun with PV, solar heating, or earth tubes. Look that up. Are you having us on?
No,
Or we
nothing.
make, I know. Or we can make fossil fuel. You guys are so literal tonight. I tried to make you just shit on it. Or we can make fossil fuel companies richer. And yeah, I agree with that. But fuck you guys.
I love the idea that every time Tan is like half snarky or sarcastic, then we're like, that's not factually accurate.
No, actually.
Oh, it's okay. Like this is
Mansplaining.
all I've got in my life about it is fine. I mean, I'm not capable of making a joke because of my knockers. Again, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. They're great. So, but no, yeah, we're gonna wrap things up, I think, and I'd like to thank grudgingly, Aid,
My dad.
and your dad. You haven't mentioned your dad's balls once, and I'm really disappointed about it.
Your dad.
That's what it says. It says disappointment.
And,
Yeah.
oh, we've got Political X in the chat as well. I just want to give a shout out to him.
Hi,
today.
Alex.
Yeah, Alex is awesome. You guys should definitely give him a follow. But yeah, definitely give Politics Social and A Thompson Other Disappointments a follow there. You are at Bollocks is in the. I'm so professional. Is in the.
It's in the description.
Thing. It's in the thing. And also thanks to Graham Hughes of Politics Social. I'm still finding my feet with live streaming, and you guys are a great support. Thank you for producing as well.
You're so welcome. We just got one more super chat.
We have. I've noticed it. Okay, so Ivan Ambrose, you've got in just before we fucked off.
Just,
I've never
just under the line.
I can put up with him popping up more than I can when Boris Johnson pops up. But the problem is when Blair pops up, he's jarring because he is physically quite scary. I mean, he looks a little bit nowadays like a kind of like spitting himself. You know?
Yeah, creepy vampire almost.
Creepy vampire. Yeah, he's kind of. At least when Boris Johnson turns up, it's just a flan in a suit, isn't it? It's not as it's just mad head. I've actually got it behind me looming, but you can't.
I saw that. I was like, is that Boris behind her?
It's a Boris mask that I actually scared the shit out of my landlord with once coming up the stairs when he was staying. I'll send this before we go. I was downstairs and I was like, Dan, something's happened, and he was like rushed out of his room. He's like, what? And I was like, oh! he recoiled. He like jumped and fell back up the stairs, recoiling in horror. I got it for a sketch during the pandemic, and I never did the sketch because ADHD. But
yeah,
we got another super chat, I'm afraid.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay, thank you. For God's sake.
For God's sake, stop giving us money, you bastards.
Okay.
Thank you, Graham.
Don't you dare invest here.
As a uncle to a trans child, I support them all the way. So do we, mate. You know, people should just not have their human rights stolen from them. Everyone wants to exist and be happy and be able to feed themselves and home themselves and be whoever they are. So
absolutely.
Thank you again, guys, and we will be back. That is a threat. At some point in the future, won't we? We'll be back together again, won't we?
We'll be back.
We will. We'll be back.
But no, thank you to everyone that tuned in.
I lag.
And until next time, fuck your bins.
Fuck your bins, just fuck your bins. I can't express bad enough things and stuff. Fuck your bins, just fuck your bins.
Well, this is going to be terrible.